Hello students, welcome again, and in the topic of human histology series, myself Professor Dr. Aksh Dubey, Professor in the Department of Anatomy, Himalayan Institute of Medical Sciences, Swami Rama, Himalayan University, Dehradun. I welcome you to understand the human histology topic series. Now we have covered many topics from the starting till now, and now we move to the one of the most important and interesting topic of the human histology, that is bone and cartilage. Let's do it. Now, can you see this on the left side, a very complex structure, and the right side very difficult concentric structures of various shades in black, gray, brown structures. This is the typical picture, and in no histological structure you see this type of picture. This is typical structure of a bone. Remember, in this bone no H&E staining is done. It is the direct slice, very small thin slide, and that is present inside the slide, and under the microscope it looks like this. So usually we do not stain H&E. I have told you in the earlier videos that H&E staining is the most common staining which we use for the undergrads, but here in the bone slide no staining is done, and this is the direct view of this. If you know this picture, if you see this once a picture, clearly observe it, then it is done. You will never ever forget under the microscope that how does a bone look like. Let's see a further detail of these bones, and then we will move to the cartilages. Let's see further into how does it look like. To understand this one, first we go into the little idea how a structure of a bone is formed. Now here we see this is a cylindrical shaped bone, inside a long bone of course I have taken, and there is a gap in the center where the medullary cavity is present, and in the wall of this bone again we see very small structures are present, rounded tube-like structures are present, and these are named as osteons. So osteons are the just tube-like structure. You can imagine it as if there is a cylinder, and in this wall you have put various tubes inside that, and this whole area is covered with the tubes. So it is made up of tubes. It gives the unique strength to the bone with a lighter structuring as well, and this structure is named as osteon. So histologically, osteon is the basic unit which forms a bone or a long bone. Now what lies inside this one osteon? In the center there is a canal that is named as Waxman canal, which is connecting the two ones, and Haversian canal is the center, and in this Haversian canal nerves and vessels are present, and around that we see the various concentric laminas. Now what is concentric lamina actually means? Have you ever seen the electric tape? It is rounded rims of various layers of this same structure is present in the here, and it is named as different layer as laminas, and cells are present between these laminas, and these lacunae are present, and area that is a gap, and cells are present. These are named as osteocytes. So that is the structure which will we see more here. Now in this Haversian canals connected with the Waxman canal, it makes a unique channel of connectivity, this, and through this various nerves and vessels are passing. We know that bone is a living tissue. It's a modified connective tissue where calcium is deposited into a particular style of fashion and converts into the connective tissue into this one. If you haven't seen the connective tissue video, please go to that one to understand more about the connective tissue. Just remember, in that tissue, if you started depositing the calcium inside, the bone is formed, right? First a cartilage is formed, and then a bone is formed in this way. So here we have this osteon with the central Haversian canal and Waxman. Here on this back side we see this type of channel, interconnected channels, vertical channels, and these are the Waxmans and the Haversian system. Now with this background we come to this histological slide, and we see that this rim is actually one osteon, this one is another osteon, here we see another osteon, here we see another osteon, this one is another osteon. So these are the one units. Can you see this? The circles If you focus here, you can see here it is very clearly visible the outer limits of this concentric circle rings, and this is one osteon. So the bone is made up of various osteons together. Of course, they are the filling structure as well there, that is named the interstitial structures. But here we see that this is the osteon, and in the osteon there is a lighter color structure is present, and that is here is central canal. So here we see many in this osteon in the central a lighter color structure is present, and that is actually depicting, it's a hollow structure which is actually depicting a vertical Haversian canal. In this we do not see any Volkmann canal, is clearly appreciated, but if you see one central canal to another central canal, if there is channel is present, then that is the Volkmann canal. Now we see many layers are present. If you connect these dots here, you make many concentric structure, ring shaped structure, and these are named as laminas. So various lamina or lamellars are present here, and among these lamellars these dark dots are present. Basically these dark are present here. These are the gaps, and in this lacunas, in the histology we call the gaps as lacunas. Okay, and in lacunas basically are the places or the residential area of the osteocytes and the blast cells. Osteocytes are bone maintaining cells, and osteoblasts are bone forming cells. So and third one is osteoclast. So these cells are basically renewing the bone. One is forming the bone, another is restructuring the bone, another is maintaining the bone, and that's how the bone is made up or restructured according to the pressure structures. So histologically we just see that there is a gap is named as lacunae, and where the osteocytes, blast or clasta may be present here, and that is the whole structure of a bone with various shades are present, right? So calcium is present in between this much of the bony structure could be easily identified in the one single view or at the 10x. If you go into the further detail, you need special sort of staining for that. Now we switch to the cartilages. Just remember, if there is a connective tissue, certain sort of cells are modified here, they convert it into the cartilages. The cartilages are basically three types: hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and fibrocartilage. Hyaline cartilage is this cartilage where we see the structure is more clear is present, right? So in the cartilage, this is the connective tissue filling here, and this is the clearly looking ground substance, and that's why the term hyaline is present. We see here chondrocytes are present in this. Another, remember, in both osteos or the histology or bones and the cartilage, cells are not directly present. There is a space, and that space is lacuna, and inside that space lacuna there is the cells is present. So here also we see this white color area is actually the blank space. Why we see this blank space? Because when we make a slide, these inside chondrocytes get shrinked, and that's why we see the clearly empty space around that. But if you make with the special stains and the special techniques, you do not see these spaces, and cell remain as it is inside the lacuna. So there might be one, they might be in the groups as well, two, that depends on the earlier there is a single one, but as the cell grows older and older, they are 2 in number, then they divide into the 4 in number, and that is the structure of the hyaline cartilage. Clear cut blue colored ground substance is visible. In HNA staining we see slight homogeneous pink color is present, and we do not see any sort of obstructing structure in between, and that is the structure of hyaline cartilage. We know that laryngeal cartilage, thyroid cartilages are various sort of cartilages are present in larynx, and thyroid cartilage is hyaline cartilage, the clear cut example. Also onto the bones, long bones ends are laminated by the hyaline cartilage. Imagine this cartilage is present, and if you add a particular sort of fibers in it, its property gets changed. Just remember the earlier video of connective tissue. I have told you two types of fibers, elastic fibers and white collagen fibers and yellow elastic fibers. So the elastic fibers are more in number here, as we see here. Then it changes the property of this hyaline cartilage into the various elastic structure, and this converted into the elastic cartilage. So elastic cartilage is not a unique thing, it is just a simple cartilage with a lot of elastic fibers, and the property gets changed accordingly, and now it has a very flexible one, like the pinna cartilage, like the epiglottis cartilage. These both cartilages are elastic cartilage. But on the other end, if you add the different fibers, and that is the white collagen fibers, and you know these are the very strong fibers, these fibers occupying almost all the ground substance, and you see these osteocytes are just shrinked or squeezed into a raw. Here we see this one, and that is the structure of fibrocartilage. So fibrocartilage is present where the slight flexibility, if we need a very high strength, then the fibrocartilage is the answer. So fibrocartilage develops in the area where we required a lot of strength, like spine. In the spine, we cannot convert it into the bone of just a rod shape. It will hamper our movements. So if we make it like the hyaline cartilage, there are the various chances of breaking it. So in between, we have this fibrocartilages, and this fibrocartilage giving you very high level of strength and the certain level of mobility as well. Because of the presence of fibers, since they occupy almost all the areas, these cells just shrink to the one places or corner to one places, and usually looks like in a row. So if you see with a lot of fibers and rows of cells, that is the fibrocartilage. And the fibrocartilage, there are so many fibrous joints are present between, symphysis joint. In between this joint, there is a fibrocartilage is present. So this is the structure of bone, hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and the fibrocartilage. This gives you the basic skeleton need of a body with various flexibilities in movement and the strength as well. So today we stop here in this, and the coming videos I will give you the more idea of the different structures of the human histology. Till then, thank you.